everybody, and welcome back to Griffin, Indiana. It is late autumn, and we have, well, turned the tide, and now we are focusing on next year as opposed to this year. We're putting barley in all three of our fields. But before that, this video is brought to you by Shalon Riviera, and thank you for being a farm baron. And also, if I mispronounced that, I am sorry. I am just really bad with names, and, well, this one is a rather unique name nonetheless. But at any rate, I decided let's put some barley in this field. We did wheat last year. Let's do a little bit of variety and put some barley in this time around. I think barley usually yields a little bit better. Personally, it has, I think, a better price overall than wheat, and well, we're still going to get plenty of straw off of this stuff. I did finish that contract to close the book from yesterday, or yesterday, game day yesterday, right? A couple days ago in real life. I did finish that harvest contract on field 8 and was able to get about 5,000 liters of soybeans after completing the contract, and that gave me a couple $1,000s of money also. Now, I kept the harvester and header around because there are a few more fields of beans, or there were a few more fields of beans that were still yet to be harvested, and I was kind of trying to, well, basically hedge my bets and hope that there would be a harvest contract for beans that would come up later today. One of those very field of beans, I believe, is directly in front of me, and it looks like those beans may have been harvested already. So, yep, that field of beans has been harvested. There was another field of beans down here that was also needing to be harvested. We'll have to check and see if the AI has already harvested those beans, then we'll definitely return that harvester. We don't need to be incurring any more fees. Looks like this field of beans is still ready to go. So let's see. Does Toby have a contract available? Does Toby have a contract? Toby does have a contract available. Awesome sauce. So we're going to be able to take that on. And in fact, I think I am going to take that on. Now we're just going to do that off camera. So we don't need to show another whole field harvest going on. But yeah, that's a real nice sized field. That's going to bring me a lot of excess soybeans. I'm just going to add that to my inventory of beans in my bin. We've got 99,000 liters of soybeans already. So, man, wouldn't it be great if I could add another whole trailer load of soybeans, another 30,000 liters of soybeans? That would be awesome. Now, I did have to lease this Vicon seeder. I chose this seeder for a couple reasons. One, had a decent working width, 12 meters. Two, wasn't super expensive to lease. Three, it cultivated, so allows direct seeding. So I don't have to run my cultivator through the field at the same, and then come back and run the seeder through the field. We will have to come by and run a fertilizer spreader over the field to put some fertilizer down, but that won't take too terrible long. So today's video, we're going to talk about late autumn. We're going to summarize what we're going to be doing here next week in winter, looking towards year number 2. Man, it's hard to believe we're already talking about year number 2. Usually when I play seasonal gameplays, I play much longer seasonal durations, and it takes me quite a while to get to year 2. 3-day seasons, obviously one day per one video per game day. 12 episodes later, we're done year 1 and we're rolling on to year 2. Now, I will admit that we are recording this a full week ahead of when its release is planned. So if Giants dropped any FS22 news this week, it's in the future for me. It's in the past for us as we watch this video. So I don't really have any capability of talking about things I don't know about, obviously. So yeah, I am kind of eagerly hoping that we're going to have some FS22 news this week. I don't think we had much in the way of news last week, other than Giants dropping the John Deere precision farming video from FarmCon, which, in my opinion, was probably one of the least exciting presentations of FarmCon. I mean, no doubt the guy knew his stuff. No doubt the guy really was passionate and dedicated to the concept of precision farming and just becoming a bit more efficient and economically and environmentally friendly with farming techniques. But it wasn't that exciting of a presentation. And yeah, it's probably, in my opinion, the least exciting and the least wanting to rewatch presentation of FarmCon. Plenty of other presentations I'll gladly watch 2, 3, 4, or 5 times, but that one, once is good. I think I'm done. I'd like to know from you all what you all thought was the most intriguing and the least impressive presentation of FarmCon. Overall, I think Giants did an excellent job in putting it together. But inevitably, there's going to be stuff all the time that are less interesting than maybe was originally thought out. So one thing that maybe we've already reached this, maybe we haven't, because again, the video is a week delayed from when I'm putting it together. We are on the road to 300 map videos in the First Impressions playlist. Road to 300 is nearly here. We are at 298. What map will be number 300? What map has already been 300? Who knows? Maybe there were 2 maps released this week. I know GB Modding was graciously enough to grant me access to our map that he is hopefully going to be sending to Giants this week in past tense, now that you're watching the video. That would be potentially 299, potentially 300, potentially 301, depending on how many other maps have come out. But man, that one is looking mighty nice. It is a UK-based map. We've had a lot of UK-based maps, but the UK player base is quite prevalent, so it makes sense to have a fair number of UK-based maps also. But it's based on a real-life area, and it really does look good. A really great follow-up to a 6 Ashes map. And I have to say, I don't keep track of every mapper, but I do think that 6 Ashes was kind of his breakout map, right? And this one is a really good follow-on to that particular map. So as far as winter goes, tomorrow, or Monday of next week, for you all, we're going to be collecting bales off of, oh no, sorry, we're not going to be collecting bales. We're going to be selling our wheat on the first day of winter. That should be the best day to sell our wheat. Prices have been steadily climbing since late summertime, so hopefully mid-winter or early winter will be the best day to sell our wheat. And we've got 200,000 liters of wheat to sell, so that should add to our bank account quite nicely, sitting at $31,000. Of course, that harvest contract is going to add to our bank account quite nicely. And of course, what we're looking at to do the end of the year is to get our bank account up to the point where we can be a little bit more self-sufficient with our equipment. Right now, the only equipment that we own outright is the tractor, our cultivator, our seed trailer, our grain trailer, I should say, and the augers that we have up at the farm. All the other machinery that we have used thus far this year has been leased, including the seeder, including the harvester header, the fertilized spreader that we're going to use later today, that is leased. But hopefully, after we sell our wheat and collect the money from the silage bales that we've got to sell in midwinter, then we'll be in a position to maybe acquire some of the things that we're going to need going forward into year 2 that are going to include, but not be limited to, a fertilized spreader, a planter, a mower, rake, baler. We don't want to discount all of this free grass, free hay, and silage that we get off of the big meadow. At some point, I would maybe like to dive into animal care, be that sheep or cows. Haven't really decided quite yet on that. Sheep would be the most easy to do. Cows would be probably the more profitable in the long run. We'll need a herbicide sprayer, which ultimately makes you think, well, let's go with we're going to have to spray herbicide. We might as well just use that to spray fertilizer too, then have a fertilized spreader and herbicide sprayer. Now, I'm going to go under the pretense that I'm not going to need to apply lime for a few years now, since we have basically treated our fields initially with our lime. Granted, every harvest we do lose a little bit of lime, we lose a little bit of desirable pH, but overall that drop in pH doesn't really drop the harvest quantities enough to really require reapplication, at least not for quite a few years, in my opinion. All right, well, there goes that field. 2 fields down, 1 field to go. I'm going to go ahead and seed this field off camera. I'll come back at you when we are putting some fertilizer down on the ground. So, be right back. So we seem to have slightly misjudged the amount of seed we need for our 3 fields, and I called down the shop and said, hey, you happen to have any more bags of barley? I don't need a full pallet of barley. And well, we lucked out that they did happen to have a kind of a open pallet of barley that they were willing to sell us 5 bags out of. So they've got 5 bags down there at the shop. We're going to run down and pick those up and toss them in our seeder. That way we can finish out the upper field. but we almost had enough. Almost had enough barley. We got the whole field done, and I was going to make my pass up on the northern side of the field. Going to do the northern headland aspect of the field, and we just didn't have enough to get that started. So I think 5 bags will be more than ample to get that done. Looks like the noon train has already come through here. We won't have to worry about it. There. Oh, these guys are they're so joking. They went ahead and laid them out here for me. These in the truck. So for those that don't know, we are using the realistic seeder mod over at lsfarmingmods.com, and what that does is it brings and introduces us with actual seed for each crop. So this is barley seed. Barley is the only thing I can use with these particular bags. So no magic seed for us on Griffin, Indiana. So the seed we have from when we put in the soybeans, the excess soybean seed, well, we really can't use that because, well, we're not putting soybeans in, we're putting barley in. So I had to come down here and buy 5 bags of barley seed, $50 a bag. They are 100 liters a piece, so we've got 500 liters of barley. That should be more than enough to get what we need done, and then we can unload that. What I don't know is if it's going to unload to these little bags, if it's going to unload to a big bag, or what it's going to unload like. But yeah, I'll meet you up at the seeder. I'll go ahead and put these on in. Standing on the back of our truck, that way we can reach them and reach on in the machine. Like so. It's kind of interesting how these work. In order to unload them, you have to lay the bags flat. It's just how the bags have been set up to have a trigger. So they don't unload that way. They don't unload. Oh, okay, they will unload from the top. Cool. Three. 4, and I'll go ahead and add 5 and finish this field off. So it turns out we really didn't need 5 bags anyway. It looks like we probably could have done with just 1 bag of seed. So we've got some more barley seed we can use next year. Of course, the seed probably won't be as potent, but that's okay. We'll just mix it in with the rest of the new seed and put it out on the field. If it doesn't germinate, it doesn't germinate, but hey, any little bit that maybe does germinate will be better. And now it's time to get some fertilizer down on these fields. So it's a Vicon Couverland DLC video today. We're using the Vicon Couverland small fertilized spreader. And what really makes these Couverland fertilized spreaders from this DLC really, really cool is the variable spread width, if you didn't know. So right now it's set to 24 meters. I can change that with the Y key and get it all the way up to 45 meter working width, should I so wish. 24 meters is the narrowest of working widths available. Now, it does change the application speed. The application rate is the same. So it's not like you can set it to 45 meters and use half the fertilizer that you would if you were set to 24. You will go through product faster at 45 meters, but you'll also go through the field a lot quicker because you're just making less passes. So the variable speed or variable working width on these things is really a really cool feature. And, you know, since they're locked behind copyright or copy protection, DRM, since they are DLCs in 19, hopefully these will be in FS22. We don't know that for sure yet, but typically things that are in DLC in one version of the game will make their way into the next version of the game. And when they do that, the variable speed magic should be exposed to all modders that are interested in doing that. So hopefully we'll see more variable width type magic in FS22 mods, because they'll be able to make use of the same scripting and other such stuff that is a part of the Couverland DLC in FS19. As you can see, we are getting our nitrogen up to where they need to be for our barley. We're using the automatic application rate, and I went ahead and got 3,000 liters of seed or of fertilizer. It's far more than we're going to need, but there are some fertilizing contracts out there, and you know what? I thought might as well try to satisfy as many fertilizing contracts as I can to maximize, one, the cost of leasing this spreader, and two, to use up the product that we have acquired already, because we can't return unused fertilizer to the shop. That sure would be nice, but yeah, excess fertilizer doesn't do me any good. If I could get it down on some fields, get a little money for it, then I'm all about that. Now, we weren't able to start fertilizing that contract field yet because we still have wet crop. It's almost 10 a.m. game time, so hopefully that will dry out before too far into the afternoon. And we'll be able to get that field harvested, collect that contract income, because that income is really nice, $21,000. There is a few fertilizing contracts out there that hopefully we could take advantage of, at least one, if not both of those, and get some more money in our pockets moving into winter. So with that, I think we're going to go ahead and close out today's video. I want to thank you for coming out and watching today. If you've got any thoughts, any questions, any comments, go ahead and put them down in the area below. Now, what we're seeing here as we scroll across the screen are our farm bosses and farm barons. We have 3 levels of channel membership. You can join as a farm hand for low price of 99 cents a month. You can join as a farm boss for $1.99 and as a farm baron for $2.99 a month. So pretty cost effective, and you get various perks, including early access to videos and under farm baron a shout out once per month during a video. You will sponsor a particular video, just like the one this morning or earlier today. So until next time, happy farming.